A review of Theodore Sturgeon's The Dreaming Jewels. They caught the kid doing something disgusting out under the bleachers at the high school stadium. He was sent home from the grammar school across the street. He was 8 years old at the time, and he'd been doing it for years. Come back with me to 1971. I know that's a long time ago, and many of you weren't even born then, but picture a wee Scottish lad, 13 years old and a science fiction geek. That's me. I'd also read some of Dennis Wheatley's horror, but I was mainly in love with Isaac Asimov, Arthur C. Clarke, H.G. Wells, John Wyndham in particular. I'd been thrilled by Dennis Wheatley's stuff, but especially the horror side. But his upper crust characters just didn't really resonate with wee council house me, and I couldn't really identify with them. I was looking for something different. So one day that summer, I was down in my local library looking for something new as I'd burned my way through everything else in there. A name caught my eye, Sturgeon, and I thought, that's a strange name for somebody, because I knew it was a kind of fish, but it said it was science fiction in the front, so I thought, well, I'll give it a go, took it home, but I quickly found out it wasn't really science fiction at all, but I was hooked after that first paragraph anyway, so it didn't really matter. As I said, it's not really science fiction, it's what it's called dark fantasy these days. It's not fantasy, it's not horror, somewhere in the middle. I imagine back when it was first published in 1950, they had a bit of trouble classifying it, because it contains things like child abuse, sex changes, murder, infidelity, some very close to the bone innuendo. But it also has magic and carnivals and puppets and scenery chewing bad guys and extraterrestrial life forms, acts of selfish heroism, and a lovely ending, lovely twist ending that fits just right with the book. And there's definite horror along the way. Especially some of the child abuse. It's one of the best descriptions of what it means to be a frightened child I've ever seen. It's all quite Bradbury-esque in a way, but with a harder edge. There's a lot less misty sentimentality and a lot more down and dirty stuff. And as for the plot, on simple reading, it's too as Bradbury-esque. An 8-year-old boy named Horty runs away from his family and takes refuge amongst strange people in a travelling circus. Carrying only a smashed jack-in-the-box named Junkie, Horty's hidden away and disguised as a girl. The owner of the carnival, Pierre Monetre, has discovered extraterrestrial life in the form of crystal-like jewels, and he's attempting to use them to get magical powers. And as it turns out, Horty is the key to his plans, and will be the only one powerful enough to stop the bad guy. Now that all reads very pulpy, and in some respects it is, but Sturgeon knew how to put flesh on these kind of bones, and you believe in all the characters. Some of them grotesque, some plain evil, others full of love and hate and despair, all at the same time. That first read really opened my eyes to what was possible in the genre fiction outside the names I mentioned earlier. It also led me almost directly straight to Bradbury for myself, and then a couple of years later to Lovecraft, and then a couple of years after that, some chap named Stephen King came along and everything changed in the horror genre completely. But I've never forgot the impact The Dreaming Jewels had on me way back then. Stands up well to rereading too. I've read it a couple of times in preceding years and just again recently. Every time I get drawn in over and over again. It's a lovely, lovely book. I recommend it to all horror fans if you haven't read it. It gets 5 out of 5 stars from me. This review first appeared in print in the Book That Made Me section of the Ginger Nuts of Horror website back in January 2014, which already now, again, seems like a very scary long time ago. Thanks for listening.